race number 3 here at Las Vegas for the Stars and Stripes here, and it is going to be a wild one for 133 laps. Previously, we got to see that of Mike Watts winning at Daytona in dramatic fashion. Last week, it was Scott Rickard who was going to be getting a lot of action done. Scott, obviously the favorite coming into tonight to win here at Las Vegas. The question is, who might come and try to steal the throne from him? Before we get to more racing action, huge thanks to ButtKicker. ButtKicker, get your Gamer 2 now. Feel what you've been missing. Kicker is an object that helps you feel the vibrations of the sound instead of just hearing it. It really enhances how the action is. It allows you to really feel how your car's reacting when you're racing here on iRacing, or even feel the action while playing other games. Automatically, the Gamer 2 is set up for games. Automatically, you can set up for iRacing, and just an awesome way to enhance your gaming or gaming watching experience in general. If you're going to be purchasing anything from ButtKicker, use Freeky Fast 20. That's Freaky with 2 E's. While you're purchasing for that promo, get 20% off. Again, that's Freaky Fast, Freaky with 2 E's, Freaky Fast 20 when purchasing. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Hunter Hayward, and in the production chair, giving you all the awesome cameras and graphics, is Robert Moyer. Hunter, we're here at Las Vegas, another cookie cutter D-shaped course. We were at Kansas last week, here at Las Vegas. And, the drivers have been talking about it. There were a lot of cautions building up from last week's race. Admins are already trying to crack down on those penalties and also trying to make sure the racing is a lot cleaner here tonight. But it's Las Vegas. What could we be expecting?
Well, Sam, I definitely expect around the similar racing of what we saw at Kansas last week. Definitely a tougher track than I'd say at Kansas. Kansas is definitely more newly paved, not as bumpy. A little bit less single to 2 grooves, unlike Vegas, where you can run practically every single groove here now. We're going to see a lot of drivers running up towards the wall or down to the bottom, and even the middle grooves all day today at this racetrack. It's a 67 pretty clear day today, but the track temp almost 120 degrees, so it's going to be a hot, slick track, especially with not much downforce in that rear and a lot of power in the front. So we're going to see a lot of slick and loose cars all day today. It's going to be pretty hectic on the restarts.
It is certainly expecting for it to be hectic, waiting for those drivers to really get their tires warmed up, ready for action. Practice has just come to a close as we were watching the 77 of Bill Dart. Bill Dart coming back after missing last week. Excited to see some of the drivers that have missed out on some races coming back. And other drivers to watch out for a debut race. It's going to be Adam Seidlow, who's going to be one of those drivers. Also, our Daytona winner. He missed out at Kansas last week. He's shown up here today. And with qualifying game ready, drivers about to hit the track and put their times down. Some drivers to watch out for, top of the board points-wise, is Adam Allen. Adam Allen, actually one of 5 drivers so far this season that have averaged a top 10 finish. And some of those other drivers, you've got Kyle McCoy, Timmy McNally, as well as Derek Offerman, and that of Eric Shoreward, who really, those 5 drivers all looking very consistent for themselves. Second in points, Kyle McCoy, who, again, like I stated, has 2 top 5 finishes, averaging a top 10 finish for himself. Tim McNally, third in points, same scenario as our points leader in second place. Scott Rickard, who has only finished in the top 5 and top 10 once and got his win last week, fourth in points, doing a great job for himself. And then we also have that of Brian Burchett, who's going to be a driver who's just running consistently, hasn't gotten a top 5 finish yet this season, but it's still a very long regular season for ourselves as drivers are getting ready for their first lap to be put down. Here comes Bill Dart finishing his first lap, and drivers expected to be faster on their second lap. Hunter, looking at this course for qualifying, what are some of the major factors for these drivers on how to run a fast lap here?
Well, definitely the key to the quickest lap here is having the best entry and exit at turn 1. Turn 1's going to catch a lot of drivers red-handed, especially going right on that white line or paint in the inside groove. That's where it's very bumpy in the track, and that's definitely where you can lose or gain a lot of time to drivers, especially in the longer run. So the entrance to turn one will definitely be on how well you can arc it into it, miss those bumps, and get the best exit you can. 3 and 4 definitely much smoother. Just hook it to the white line or the white paint, and 3 and 4 try to get try to not scrub off the most speed as you can out of 3 and 4. Pretty much identical laps, just trying to avoid the bumps the best you can. But right now, top of the board, the 0-0 of Butt with a 30.80, about 300s quicker than the 20 of Offerman, but. Sam, we noticed it last week. Not always the quickest in qualifying, but really, really good in the longer runs and really good at cookie cutter tracks. The 12 of Andrew Medlin. I would say keep an eye out for him today. He's really quick at those tracks like we saw last week at Kansas. So, yeah, I mean, I would have my money on the 12.
Oh, for sure. I mean, as drivers, still 2 minutes left in qualifying, like you noted there, Hunter. Travis Butt, top of the board with Derek Offerman, second currently, but still a lot of drivers that we know are going to be quick to watch out for. These drivers raced here last season for Season 2 for the Trucks Championship, and it was a battle between that of Rickard, Medlin, also Boyling, and Offerman. Those 4 drivers were hunting for the championship, and the driver that won that race was Scott Rickard. Rickard, again, one of those drivers last season, utter dominance, 9 wins in total out of the 20 races ran for that season too. And then also for their first season in the Stars and Stripes, they ran the ARCA cars, and Kyle McCoy won that race. Very similar to the way that Kyle McCoy won during Season 1 in the ARCA cars, like he did at Kansas. And Kyle McCoy really had a lot of speed last week. He's one of those drivers that even on older tires was able to defend himself, be up front. But yeah, I think Medlin for sure, he's a guy that needed to have a better qualifying run here today. Currently 13th on the board as we're seeing the 11 running and putting his times down. The 11 of Brian Chu. Chu is a driver that I've got just for some reason. I feel like the 11's got some hidden speed. He just needs these longer runs to go on, and for him to stay out of trouble as the 11 close to that outside wall coming out of turn number 1. He's going to try to arc it into turns 3 and 4, trying to finish up his final lap as there is 45 seconds left in qualifying.
Yeah, and just touching on the fact of how you mentioned the 7 of Kyle McCoy, the previous ARCA champion in this league, really strong at Kansas last week. Unfortunately, wasn't able to pull off the win, but had a really strong car all throughout the day. I would say the ARCA package is pretty similar to the package these Xfinity cars have. Not much downforce, a lot in the driver's hands of where they can find the speed, especially at cookie cutter tracks like this. I would definitely also keep my eye out for the 7 of Kyle McCoy, but right now it looks like nobody's even going to be able to touch the time of the 0-0 Travis Butt. 30.80 top of the board, but also looking at the times all the way throughout from 1st to 19th, everybody within a tenth of each other, or a little bit from a tenth to 2 tenths. So I'm surprised these times are as close as they are with each other, but also it is a fixed setup, so you will definitely see drivers running similar times, but still within a tenth of the package where it's all in the driver's hands and right foot rather than it is going wide open. It shows the speed that some of these drivers have.
It certainly is going to be an exciting one, like you noted. Travis Butt going to be getting the pole position as we look at our starting grid. Derek Offerman going to be in second place with Nick Holland, able to get third with Eric Shoreward going to be getting fourth place. Timmy McNally, Kyle McCoy, Scott Rickard, Bill Zart, Jason Metcalf, and also going to be Patrick Hasty, who's going to be getting 10th place. And to you, Hunter, for the rest of our top 20.
Top 11 is going to go to Brian Burchett in a 2:23. The 12th is going to go to Mark Beverly. 13th, the 12 of Andrew Medlin. Keep an eye out for him, folks. 14, Aaron Hale. 15th, going to go to Travis Dart. 16th, going to go to Dr. House, Paul House in the 18 car. Not a very good week for him last week, but hoping to make a good recovery starting 16th today. And then 18, M&M's Supra. 17th is going to go to Max Ward. 18th, Trey Jackson. 19th will go to... Folks, let me get my 19th. There we go. 19th will go to the 84 of Mike Watts, and rounding out your top 20 will go to the 15th of Ken Campbell.
And then we're going to be looking at the rest of the board. Looking at those drivers that were in the top 20. Trey Jackson going to be a driver to watch out for. He had some speed also in the Truck Series during Season 2. We'll see if he can translate that here today. Going to be in 21st position. It's going to be Mike Lynch with Nate Lynch. to his outside in 22nd place. With that, a Brian Lynch behind them. All three Lynches going to be in a row. We'll see how they can attack. And then in 24th, it's going to be Chris ESY going to be going out there, as well as a debut race for the 6 of Adam Sildo. Going to be seeing how well that 6 machine's going to be doing. With that, Brian Grimm going to be setting up in 26th position. Christopher Wade going to be starting all the way back in 27th. This is a weird spot to see the 53. We'll see how well he can recover, as well as Brett Summers back in 28th. In 29th, it's going to be Kyle Boylan, and then Brian Chu in 30th.
31st going to go to the 21 of Brandon Messick. 32nd, George Kovacic. 33rd, Adam Allen. 34, John Darton, the 66th. 35th, going to go to Tom Velez. 36th, Haas Beverly. 37th, Josh Warner. And to wrap out your field in the 38th spot is going to go to 29 of Douglas Hooper.
Well, that is your 39 drivers that are hitting the grid, getting ready for racing action. Travis Butt trying to redeem himself. He looked quick last week, was not able to really get the finish he wanted. Finished off the back half of the field. And you got Scott Rickard, who's going to be as well extremely quick. Another one of those drivers. Excited to see how well he's going to be translating that. But for that of Derek Offerman, I'm excited to see what the 20's going to do on the outside. Pace car is off, and we are green for the Vegas High Roller 200. As that's going to be the 00 on the inside, getting the best launch. Now we get to see how these drivers can attack. Moving forward, we saw during practice it was a very difficult stretch coming out of turn 2, but so far they're side by side and looking good. Here they come out of turn number 2.
68 got a really good run behind the 00, but on that original restart, the 20 of Offerman making the top roll a little bit better than I expected right now. The 13 almost looking to put it 3 wide right now, but 3 wide battle right now between the 20 and the 88 and the 13 right now. But Travis Butt getting a good restart, but already the pressure of the 68 right up on his bumper just like that. And Sam, you see the 20 riding the wall already. I wouldn't see drivers move away from that white paint until the tires start to get at least 10-15 laps into them. Later in the long run, as here goes the 68 flying around the outside of the 00. Great move for him. Right now it looks like Travis Butt saving his stuff a little bit more than the 68 is.
Adam Allen going to be going off track, having issues on the entry of turn 3. Our points leader already all the way back in 39th place. But yeah, I mean, the battling up front, Nick Holland looking fabulous for himself, but he's pushing so hard. Got to worry about those tires in the next 5 laps around lap 8. Where will this 68 be? Still moving forward or finally dropping back? My assumption is we might be seeing him dropping outside of the top 5, but still battling hard to be McNally going to be making a pass for 2nd place, but it's going to drop back, and it looks like Scott Rickard's feeling comfortable that he wants to move forward currently.
Touching on the fact of saving tires here, as a driver who's raced this place many times and loved this track, you'll see drivers right now. I know it's pretty short and they're running only 4 laps in, but drivers already changing their lines differently from everybody else, all running just the places they feel comfortable with. Right now, the 68 of Nick Holland running the middle groove, but later in the run, you'll see drivers running that middle to high groove and nowhere really near that white paint, only because the older the tires, where the bumps are on the inside groove, your tires just don't have the grip and will eventually bottom out, and bottoming out is horrible for tires. Will send your car straight to the track and eventually towards the wall. That's why you'll see some drivers saving their tires just a little bit more to make the bottom stick later in the run. But right now, some drivers, like the 68 and Nick Holland, jumped out really quickly in the front, but already losing ground now to the 88 of Timmy McNally. Pretty interesting, but here comes the 05 of Scott Rickard. Like we said, started 7th, already battling up to 2nd right now, flying.
Scott Rickard not surprised that he's moving forward so much. The driver I'm most surprised about is Travis Butt. He has already dropped back to 7th place, almost lost more ground as well as the driver that started on his outside in 2nd place. Derek Offerman, he's dropped back to 10. But I think we're both expecting them to make their charge moving forward, probably around lap 15. Once those tires are worn in and they feel like, hey, we let everyone else burn up their stuff early on, it's our time to move forward.
Yeah, especially, or definitely with drivers who really want track position. If this race stays green for the first pit cycle to start, the pit window is going to be around 45 to 50 laps. maybe even a little bit earlier for drivers who want a short pit later back in the field. But, you know, tires are just so important at a track
Oh
where
no. Issues for Brian Lynch. No, it's Nate Lynch. He goes in hard into the inside wall, back on track. Our first yellow of the day as we hit lap 7 going on to 8. And oh boy, that's a hard lick for that team as Nate Lynch just running in the middle of the field. He's around 20th when this incident happened. Staying high for this team, and for the 25, you're going to see him brush the outside wall and just a little bit of overcorrection, still trying to turn to get off the wall, and that just backfired for himself. And you're going to be seeing him hit the most awkward part of the inside wall. It's a little hitch here, and you always hope you don't hit that spot, but the 25 did, going airborne for the rear end, and luckily he's got a fast repair to work with.
yeah, fast repair indeed, and he's definitely going to need that. You notice on the outside wall where the safer barrier is, that wall is designed to take the impact for the car and then push you away from it. Unfortunately, if you get stuck into a wall like that, it's designed to push you away. But look at the 25, that left front tire, excuse me, shoved up, not able to turn the car as he wants. Gonna have to take a tow, and eventually will probably be put a lap down, as he already is one, might be 2 laps down. Unfortunate for that 25, but he's still got around 125 to 24 laps to go in this race. But Sam, what you saw from that restart, what was the most interesting move that you saw from that original restart?
It probably was the fact that we saw both of our, front runners in our first row really backing off it and going back so early. I thought for sure we were going to be seeing Travis Butt kind of defend up front a little bit more. That was probably the most shocking thing for me, was that we were seeing Travis Butt go back to 7th place, and then you also had Offerman back outside of the top 10. I was wondering if it stayed green, how long it was going to take for them to finally get aggressive. But with this caution, more drivers coming into pit road. It looks like Travis Butt came in just topping off with fuel, getting back out on track. Same goes for that of Ken Campbell and for Josh Warner, for Haas Beverly, who's going to be just coming in for fuel themselves. Coming in for damage, though, is going to be Adam Allen, as well as Missick and Nate Lynch, who, no surprise, being the cause of our caution. Heavy damage. Trying to get that damage serviced up, but up front still. For that of Nick Holland, do you feel like the caution coming out kind of saved the 68 with the fact that he can now cool off those tires that it seemed like he was being so aggressive with?
Oh, definitely, and especially at a track where tire wear is just so important to what defines your track position. I believe that the 68s are going to really like seeing that caution. He fell back a little bit. The A8 McNally was able to catch him. Same thing with the 05 flying through the field. But, like you said, the tires get to cool down. The air pressures go down. More grip and surface area in that tire again to be able to run the places you want to run again. But I don't know. Maybe the 68's just keeping it in the back of his head again, that I just need to stay calm, take care of my right front, and just know that this is going to be a longer race than a long race. So I can't really speak right now, but I'm interested to also see what the 05 can do in this restart.
How well are they going to be able to attack here early on? And this is it's going to be an interesting one on how these drivers are going to be adapting, especially with those that decide to come in and get just fuel to reset themselves. I feel like that's a pretty good strategy for themselves, being able to stretch out just a little bit further if we are able to go green. As speaking of going green, pace car is off. Nick Holland, Scott Rickard going to be trying to get going, and immediately Holland takes off. That inside line just stalls out. Same for the outside lane. Everyone now gets in line. That was one of the cleaner starts, even from their practice restarts they did under practice, and also our first restart of the day.
And I really like, I don't really like, I bet the 05 of Rickard really liked that the 68 got a really good jump, because you can see the line. The 05 and the 68 are both running right up on that white paint, getting his left side, the 05 getting his left side tires right up on that inside groove. I think he would like that better than being stuck in the bottom, but right now taking advantage of going down to the apron as well, trying to cut the track a little bit to gain as much time as he can. But right now, already applying a pressure, but here's a 13 as well. Not getting the run through the center of the corner on the inside that he wanted, but he's going to be able to be neck and neck with the 05. But the 05 will get the run on the exit. But now here comes the 05, applying the pressure to the 68 on the inside, going to the 3.
Scott Ricker's going to go to the inside, waiting and pouncing for a mistake. He's going to be the driver in third place for the 13. Eric Schwartz, he's just waiting to pounce. Who to follow? Who is he going to be helping? He just stays in the middle, trying to get the draft from both drivers as they go down the straightaway, still side by side for the lead. Nick Holland, he's got to try to make that outside lane work, but he's burned up the tire so much, it's going to be difficult for him to hold the lead, and it looks like just like that, Scott Rickard back up front. But here comes a chance for the 68. Could he make a crossover move, and just not close enough to do so?
Yeah, and I think the 13 really liked the position that he was just in. Now going to try to go into the inside of the 68. It looks like he's going to get to his inside. But you saw the 13 right behind two side-by-side cars. That's really good to see as a driver, only because you know that one driver might lose that position, especially if the car in front of you is faster than the car they're trying to pass, because you'll know you also pick up a position as well. So right now the 13 is short, now taking advantage of the 68 being passed by the 05. I think the 13 is ready to pounce on the 05 of Rickard now as he's going to clear the 68, but let's see what the 13 is Shore does to the 05 of Rickard.
Yeah, I mean, Shore's been just following Rickard and waiting, and just, you know, it's nice when you're following a driver that makes the openings for you so you don't have to do as much work. Jason Metcalf going to be waiting also back in fourth place for the 35. It's been a good start for the 35 team who qualified up in ninth place. I mean, what a way to start out today's race when we really didn't see Jason up front that much the past two races.
Yeah, especially as a driver, especially in the position he's in a really, really good spot. You don't need to burn up your stuff. You just need to take notes of what the people in front of you are doing, especially like the 05 of Rickard, the 13, the 68, who have been up front every single week. Just take good notes of what they're doing. Don't burn up your tires because you don't need to pass them. You still got a long way to go. Just learn what they're doing, what the lines they're taking. Save up your right front just a little bit better, and you're in a perfect position to be able to pass them.
You got a lot of drivers moving forward. I mean, you touched on the fact that Medlin, he hasn't been having the best qualifying runs, but he certainly has race pace. Started in 13th. He's now currently up to 7th and going to be trying to follow that of Kyle McCoy, as it looks like Timmy McNally dropping back slowly. Some other drivers that have been making some charges forward. I know a fan favorite right now, back in 17th place, Chris Essery, another one of those drivers that's been slowly moving forward, started 24th up to 17th. He's got some drivers that are battling side by side in front of him, and it's got to be nice seeing drivers battling hard because you know one of them is using up their tires way more than the other, and it's going to give you a shot to really pounce on gaining more positions.
Yeah, right now, throughout the field, drivers now around single file to 20 of Offerman trying to pounce as well, getting as many spots as he can back. Looks like he saved his stuff just a little bit more than the 9 of Patrick Hasty. But right now, I mean, yeah, you can see the 20's making that top roll just a little bit better than every other car, and especially now he's going to get the run on the exit, trying to get around the 9. But, I mean, like you said, the 00 and the 20 of Offerman falling back originally in the start. Looks like they're planning just a little bit more for the later runs, but right now, I mean, Sam, I bet you can agree with me. Drivers need to look a little bit more big picture rather than a short run and having as much track position as you can in the first couple of laps rather than the end of the run.
Yeah, I mean, for Offerman, he's still in a position of waiting and just staying on the high side. I think he's waiting to just put some rubber on the high line and hope for that to build up for him to get more speed the later that this race goes on. Kind of thinking of later in this race when he might be seeing some more action as, again, our front about 8 still all in a line, pretty spaced out after you get by 7th place McCoy. Bill Dark going to be about a half a second back from the 7. And then we drop back to around 14th. They are side by side and they are not giving up. Driver that just got through all this mess was actually that of Aaron Hale. Hale's another one of those drivers I had on my watch board to look at. He's been quick. He was quick last week, but got caught up in a mess similar to that of Butt, who then had a poor finish, but certainly a driver that's going to have a great probably a top 10 run for himself. Behind him, though, you've got that of Travis Dart. Also, you've got other drivers that are just getting mixed in. You've got the triple digits of the 223, the 209, side by side, trying to figure out how they're going to be cutting through this field. And this isn't helping anyone right now, 14th on back.
No, definitely not. And right now, some drivers definitely quicker. I noticed the 33 Vessery a little bit more impatient right on the bumper of the 203, or the 209, excuse me, and just 2-3 wide when you're trying to catch somebody for position. Right there, the 33 isn't a good spot. 4 cars in front of him trying to get him, but when you're
Red Somers now absolutely clobbers the wall, and somehow no one else got collected in his mess.
Yeah, good awareness by all the drivers around him as well, like the 2 and the 84. But, you know, just like you mentioned, it's killing all these drivers' speed and time. Right now is the 33 looking to pull it 3 wide, now on the inside of the 209. 33, the Essery going to the point already. Now on the inside, trying to get that spot back and try to lead through that pack. But like you said, just 2-3 wide throughout this field is just going to kill time to all these drivers, especially when they're trying to make up as much time as they can.
Essery, one of our biggest movers, up now a total of 10 positions, as behind him still a mess of drivers, 2-3 wide. The driver that's stuck all the way on the high side is, oh no, 53, Wade willing to bump drivers out of the way. Wade getting that Watts out of the way for himself. The 223, though, that of Brian Abetcha, going to be one of the drivers that he's been staying close to the wall, and that is not where you want to be. Watts, again, issues for himself. It is just a hornet's nest, a mess. You got a feeling a wreck is looming for those drivers around here, but it's in front of them where the mess is. It's Dr. House into the outside wall, and now scattering is the rest of the field. They've got to figure out how to get around the 18. That's just moving like a slug. Holy moly, we stay green.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy right now. Only 25 laps in. Very unfortunate for the 18 now, who still struggling even in just the corners. That's going to be even worse in the straights for him, but I mean, wow, this is crazy moves by drivers. We're only 25 laps in, Sam. What? This is like it's Kansas 2.0 right now.
Oh, absolutely, but this is kind of a little bit better than Kansas. We're able to stay green. House going to be continuously dropping more positions. I think the driver that hurt the most was that of Mark Beverly, who was up front in the in the mix of that top 15 battle. But when the 18 came back down in the middle of the course, it was the 51 had a slam on his brakes. The hope that he didn't slam into anybody else, and losing over 10 positions because of that one mistake. House has got to hope that a caution comes soon so he can try to get some more pressure. But once again, that top 15, those drivers still hounding one another, and now you got more drivers in the mix. Somehow Mike Lynch got through all that mess when he was about 4 rows back.
Yeah, and you look at the 51 of Beverly, losing 10 spots from that, but now battling or somewhat getting around that 18 of Dr. House right now. Oh, as we got one driver right on the bumper of the 9 car. Looks like the 23 of Dylan Grimm. Really trying to get around this pack. It looks like he's a little bit quicker, but loose on exit. Almost losing it, but he's just trying to get around, pick up as many spots as he can. You know, right now, I mean, like I mentioned, it's drivers in the short to mid run, they start to get single filed out, hit their own pace, and then once the longer run strikes, it's like they all bunch back up again, trying to get many time or all their time back up that they lost, and this is where just calamity ensues.
Absolutely, calamity is something that we are expecting to see still around that range in the middle of the pack, 18th place. They're still not giving an inch. And that's where Trey Jackson is currently 18th position. Thought we were going to see Trey moving forward a lot quicker, but he kind of did the same move that we saw from Offerman, backing off and now making his charge forward. Touching on Offerman, he fell all the way back to 12th place. He's now back up to 9th after some of the fiascos that we were seeing of House getting in trouble, as well as some others. And now Aaron Hale, Essery as well, going to be moving up into close to our top 10. Both the 4 and the 33, I think they're ones to watch out for the longer this run goes on how close they can get to the top 5. As more drivers back in 19th place, it's the 223 again, up into the wall and brushed it that time. Now going to be dropping back 2, almost 3 positions. Oh man, for that of Bearchet, he's got to be hoping that this race comes to a close soon, because where he's at, it's going backwards.
Now check this one out. Oh, here comes the 12 of Andrew Medlin flying to the field. Started P13, already up to 5th, I think 4th now. Trying to apply the pressure now in the 68. Just got around the 35 of Jason Metcalf. Andrew Medlin up to 4th now, flying through the field. He was about a 10th quicker. Oh, actually, no, about a 10th slower than the 68 of Nick Holland, but also he was flying through traffic doing that. I think we'll start seeing the times of the 12, but right now, like I said, really, really good in the long run. Keep an eye out for him. I think he's going to be catching the 68 sooner or later, as he's almost on the bumper of him already.
Nick Holland going to be staying extremely high. Poor entry of turn 3. It just messes up. Also turn 4. And now losing ground is going to be that of the 68. Medlin, like you said, he's a driver to watch out for sure. He's got that race pace. And the longer the race goes on, the faster the 12 gets. But he's had a lot of work to do because the 05 and the 88 are just gapping themselves from the rest of the field that seems to be now turning into different pockets and packs that are scattered throughout the track.
Yeah, and also look at this, Sam. The 68 almost riding in that highest groove you can, almost along the wall. The 12 of Medlin right up on that white paint still. That means, I always say it all the time, especially at tracks where it's multi-groove. Once you go up, you can't go back down, and I mean, it kind of breaks physics because what goes up must come down, but no, in racing, it's completely different. If you go up there, you're going to kill that right front just more and more since it's the longer distance around the track. So when you're at the quickest point around the track, you're using less right front, which means you have to save more tires. So if the 12 moves up to the higher lane like the 68 is running, who's making the straights longer since he's making the track longer, I think the 12 will be able to get to his bumper and get around it. But like you said, his race pace is so good, and we're only 35 laps in. We still got around 15 to 20 more laps in this fuel run.
Yeah, this fuel run was originally, if they started the race and didn't have that caution flag, was going to be around 44 to 50 was the pit window we were looking for drivers that were going to try to undercut to the furthest that they could go. Now it's looking like drivers can go possibly about 50 to 52 laps with that caution. And for the drivers that pitted, they can go a little bit further than that, probably go about 55 to possibly 58 laps. Or those are the laps that we're looking for these drivers to make their first pit stop if we can make it that far. And currently of the drivers that are making their charge from having to make that early pit stop, it's Adam Allen that is leading that group, currently in 21st position. And he's now cutting his way through a lot of the mess the drivers have been having to get through in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, and at this point where drivers know the fuel run is getting shorter and shorter, but right now, drivers, I mean, it looks like it's going to stay green until green flag pit cycles open up, but it's just mayhem for drivers now trying to get as many spots as they can before they pit. Right now, as you can see, I mean, the 24 trying to get around, but oh, we got a driver going over the radio right now, 20 car going down into pit road, the 20 of Offerman. It's very interesting. That's a very interesting call for a short pit.
Looks like the ones coming in as well. A lot more other drivers decide to come. This is the extreme undercut for these drivers, trying to make their pit stop this early on. And this is very surprising to see for Offerman because he was around 10th, 11th place before coming into pit road when he was one of those drivers that really backed off early on. He's got to be banking on this race to go green because he's going to go down a lap early, go one lap down, while the rest of the field, they can still stretch it out for another 14, 13 more laps. Driver having issues, though, in the middle of the field, it looked like, and now able to get going. It looks like that was Max Ward, who's going to be getting out of control, and it's the 59. Hopefully he can get straight again. We stay green as he finally gets straight on the apron, but issues for drivers trying to get onto pit road, and looks like for the 9 of Hasty, he was actually one of the drivers that misjudged his pit box, drove through pit lane, and now he'll have to go back in again.
Oh no, that's a very crucial mistake because now you just lost valuable seconds of time and you got to do it again. So that can easily put you, because making a pit stop, you'll be put 1 to maybe even 2 laps down depending on how far back you are in the field. But right there, crucial mistake. Probably going to be put around 2 laps down now after losing on that time, but also 84 Mike Watts announcing he went down pit road a couple laps ago. It looks like the car is more towards the back. trying to undercut it to take the lead. Hope for a caution comes out once it cycles them through as the leaders. But right now, if I'm the leader, like Andrew Medlin, Nick Holland, Timmy McNally, Scott Rickard, the top 4, top 5 right now. Right now, also, the McNally about a 10th quicker than the leader of Rickard. Yeah, well, last time by now a couple hundredths quicker, but looks like the 05 using up his stuff just a little bit more than he wanted to. Didn't make it the full run like he wanted to, like the 88 did. But right now, if I'm the 05, if I get past later in here, then I'd probably come in a lap or 2 earlier than the 88 would. Not run it completely dry, only because I want to have that undercut and come around just a little bit more in front of the car who was quicker than you in the later run. But if the 88 does take the lead here, as he's still applying the pressure really well, I would just try to run it as dry as I can to get freshest tires over the field as I could.
Yeah, and the timing of all these drivers that are pitting now, they are now making the strategy call that they want to pit for using up all 3 of their tire sets that they have, because they've now set themselves up to have to come and make 3 pit stops, while the drivers that are stretching it out to lap 44 to 50, they can turn this race into a 2-stop course. So it's very interesting on how I've been seeing drivers pick and choose when they want to come to pit road. Currently, right now, our leader is running a little bit, about 1.5 seconds slower than his best time, is now coming into the pits is going to be that of Eric Schwar, who one of our drivers that was running up in the top 3 coming into pit road, now giving that position to Nick Holland. But our front 2, they're staying close, and I'm not surprised at the fact that Rickard's losing this ground. He was being so aggressive between lap 20 to lap 35 that he just burned up his tires, making himself have a gap lead of over a second. And now late in a run, kind of backfiring. This is some knowledge for him to take in of, okay, maybe I gotta wait until I'm around lap 25, lap 28 before I really push and make the last stint as fast as I can be.
Oh, definitely. And not only that, but the 88, you saw it making moves on the 05, and it takes a couple laps for him to catch up to the bumper. The 05 again looks on the inside, but just in the later run, you just can't make that inside line stick as well as you can as the outside line, where there's more grip. You make the straightaway longer, which also gives you more momentum on the exit of the corner. So you can see the 88 trying it. He's gonna get the momentum and almost get to the bumper of the 05 of Rickard, but I mean, yeah, a couple hundredths to a tenth a lap, the 88 is quicker. He's just saved his right front so much better. So now he's going to look in the outside. Can he get the run that he wants on the straightaway? He's going to get to his bumper, but let's see what the 88 is going to do going into turn 1.
As the 88's waiting to pounce for the lead here. He's right on the back bumper within a tenth, and it certainly is something that these drivers are going to be aggressive racing right now, and the window is opened up for the drivers that are going to turn this race into a 2-stop as Brian Lynch comes into pit road for the 24. But up front, certainly these drivers have to be thinking, how much further can they really push it? Because we did have that yellow flag and some pace laps to try to save some fuel. They could probably go a little bit further than lap 50. We were told the fuel range for the furthest they can go is around lap 47 to 50. Now that's a question of when they'll come in, as now here comes 2 more drivers. Edlin, Wade, both coming in. Excuse me, that's not Wade. That's going to be SRE, who's going to be coming in for himself. The 33 that was up in 8th place. One of our biggest movers of the race. The 33 has been quick in recovering after a poor qualifying run.
Yeah, definitely, and he's going to have the undercut over these leaders. They'll be out in front as long as they're running quicker times every single lap than the leaders are right now. The 223 of Brian Burchett coming down. Now here comes the 88 again, looking on the inside of the 05. I don't know if he's going to make the bottom stick. Oh, they're nose and nose again. Oh, man, but he is going to make the bottom stick. Can he clear him? Oh, he cleared it for a second. He's going to make the slide jump in the straightaway. Now the crossover by the 05. Man, neck-to-neck battling right now. He's going to fully clear him by now, a whole car length now. Now this is the time where now I know where it's the fuel run is now the 68, and there goes the 05 and the 68 coming up pit road. That's a smart call for the 05, knowing that he's going to want the undercut over the 88 there because he knows he's a little bit slower in the longer run. I'd rather be in front of him, pull away from him a little bit in the short run, then save my stuff for the longer run because I have all that gap between them that he can make up, burning up his stuff more while I save my tires. So right now the 88 of Timmy McNally pitting it now, trying to make that undercut as short as possible, but man, this is going to cycle out to be weird.
You know, haven't been watching the pit stops as often, but both saw Hale and the 35 of Metcalf coming in, sliding through their box. That's costly time as McNally into pit road. Drivers got to be careful of not sliding through their box, costing time for themselves. And now it's going to be Bill Dart, who missed last week at Kansas. The 77 leading here, and he's got to be careful because he's got Travis Dart right to his back bumper. Still
77
waiting.
Oh, no, go ahead, my bad.
Oh, we still got 10 drivers waiting to make their next green flag pit stop for themselves. And now we're hearing more drivers saying that they're coming into pit road. That's going to be Campbell, also looking like Travis Dart coming in as he is slowing up into pit road. These drivers got to be make sure that they don't get caught speeding. So far, doesn't look like anyone's been caught speeding this moment. But I think there might have been an issue for the 33. He's coming back into pit road.
Oh, it looks like the 33, if he's coming down back into pit road, maybe a speeding penalty or something in that matter. Maybe didn't check all his tires that he wanted. Who knows? Definitely a big problem for the 33 there. Yeah, I don't know. So now the leader of the 77 of Bill Dart's going to go down. But it looks like the 53 of Christopher Wade is now going to cycle out as the leader. Started 27th, and now the leader going to get a bonus point for leading the lap there. But yeah, it looks like, let's see,
I think it was a penalty being served by the 33 because looked like he was caught speeding off of exit, had to come in, make a service call, and back out on track. He's now currently 2 laps down. Our biggest mover of the race gets hit with a mental error that is going to be costly. And now going to be another driver caught 2 laps down. We got a total of 34th back to 39th. All caught 2 laps down.
Yeah, and it looks like we have about, I would say about 3 more cars who still haven't came down on pit road, I believe. Yeah, 4 cars. I apologize for that. The 00, but still staying out. Actually, no, I believe he did undercut that strategy. Am I right, Sam?
He was one of those drivers that pitted under their first yellow. Same with Adam Allen. So it's looking like for Butt Allen. Also, the only driver that is not pitted under our yellow, that's going to be that of Haas Beverly. That's actually going to be George Kavisk, who's going to be coming into the pits for the 65. He's one of those drivers. The 3 cars that are out there on tracks of Beverly, Allen, Butt, they all pitted under that caution that we had, so they all have fuel to stretch a little bit further than everyone else.
You know, and I really like that strategy call by them, only because, yeah, the overcuts can be detrimental to their time that they're losing, almost a second and a half a lap, like you said. But I mean, the rubber also that you're going to have, especially at a track like this where your tires are falling apart every single lap, it's a smart call, only because while the leaders, lap car is pushing it almost 3 wide on the leader. Travis Butt probably not liking that very much, losing time for him. But you know, your rubber is just gonna be so much more fresh, and it's gonna be tenths to a couple tenths a lap over the leaders. You just got to make sure that you have really good pace. But every person on the track wants the freshest rubber they can, especially for the long run, where they can then push it to be the leader when the next green flag pit stop cycle starts. But sorry about that. Right now, the leader looks like it's going to be cycled out as, I believe, the 05 of Rickard, and right behind him, the 7 of Kyle McCoy.
Yeah, and for this of Travis Butt, though, he was so off the pace that I'm concerned. I mean, he was almost about a half a lap back before we started seeing our leaders coming and trickling into pit road. So him, by staying out, is going to be costing him even more time. This strategy call by Butt is hoping that a caution comes out and will give him his track position back. But it is not a great call, in my opinion, for the 00, especially with how slow he was running once we went green after our first yellow of the race. But we've been green for quite a while, still waiting for Butt to come into pit road. It's like he's running. He might be thinking about pit road here in the next 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, Sam, as these setups work, the fixed setups, the quickest the car can be is when is when the tires are the freshest. And not only that, but the setups are built around the fresher the tires, the quicker the times and your car is going to be. So I think that Travis Butt is hoping, really hoping, because if not, the strategy will be messed up, that it stays green. The 00 still staying out, killing as much time as he is. I mean, the 05 of Rickard only about 12 seconds back. Actually, Andrew Medlin is going to cycle out as the leader here. Got around the 05 of Rickard. That's really good for him. But, he's going to have much more fresh tires, but the time he's going to lose, he might even be 2 laps down after he comes out of pit road.
Internet issues for the 83, looking like our points leader has to disconnect from the race, and he is losing ground as looks like he might be our one DNF and our first DNF of the race. It's heartbreaking for our points leader, for that of Adam Allen, who was running in 28th position before that disconnect happened. Up front. I mean, what are you seeing there, Hunter?
Up front, I mean, I'm seeing very interesting things going all around. I mean, right now, it's just Andrew Medlin getting in front of the 05 of Rickard. That's really, really good for him. But now the 05 of Rickard on the inside of Medlin trying to get that spot back. Really bad for them. I think that the 7 of McCoy is really going to like that, only because he's going to now have 2 cars in front of him, side by side, killing as much time as they can and racing hard. 00, but still not coming down pit road. Almost door banging from the 12 and the 05. But man, this is a great battle right now. This is going to be really important. But the 12 pushing his car really hard. I don't say that very often right now, Sam.
25 going to be going into the pits for himself, but yeah, I mean, for Medlin and for Rickard, they've got to battle strong and early here. And the thing for Rickard is the next driver he's really concerned about would be Timmy McNally, who's all the way back in 5th position, about a second and a half, a little bit more than that. Is looks like the 59 gets out of control for himself. Gonna go into the wall. Max Ward once again issues for himself, and he had to take a tow. We stay green, and he will also park it for the day, being our second DNF of the race. Butts now into pit road for the 00.
Yep, so now it's going to be a very interesting strategy to see how the 00 is going to cycle out. It's a very interesting call for him now, just entering his pit stall. He has the #1 pit stall. That's good for him to be able to just get out and go immediately. But, I don't know. I think he might be even 2 laps down here after he cycles around and gets up to full speed. He's out of his pit box now and going... I don't know. This is a very interesting call for the 00. Gonna have much fresher tires. Now getting lapped again by the 12 in the 05. It's just, he's gonna have so much fresher tires. He's gonna get around him right here. But, I don't understand why he'd stay out for that long. I mean, tires are gonna be huge, but time is bigger.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, Scott Rickard, he is dealing with lap traffic, and the lap traffic, not sure how they want to get themselves out of the way, as the 05 going to be now getting by that of Adam Sildo is going to be one of our debut drivers. First time we've seen the 6 here for the Stars and Stripes Season 3 in the trucks, in the Xfinity Series. These drivers, a lot of controversy came out last week of the drivers just being too aggressive. Admins kept on telling the drivers throughout the week, hey, let's try to work on this. Let's try not to have as many yellows. And they've done just that, working and making sure that we stayed green. And it looks like we are about halfway through this thing. And we're also halfway until we'll be seeing drivers making their next pit stop, looking to be around lap 85. So lap 95 is when we are going to be seeing a lot of drivers coming into pit road. So we'll take a quick break, and it is going to be not missing any action. We'll be side by side. We'll be right back to finish out this race for the Stars and Stripes, race number 3 here at Las Vegas for the Vegas High Roller 200.